I want you to picture the average vegetable garden in December. It is a graveyard. The tomatoes are black skeletons, the cucumbers are slime, and the pepper plants, those heat-loving divas, died the moment the thermometer dropped below 50 degrees. For most gardeners, winter means the end of fresh spice. It means settling for jars of dried, dusty chili powder that lost its flavor 6 months ago. But high in the Andes Mountains, there is a plant that breaks the rules. While other peppers wither and die in the cold, this one is just waking up. It doesn't grow for a season, it grows for decades. It doesn't grow into a small bush, it grows into a massive woody tree that can tower over your head. And the fruit? It isn't thin-skinned and hollow like a jalapeno. It is thick, juicy, and crisp like an apple. But if you go to the garden center today, 99% of the pepper seeds you see will be white. Bell peppers, habaneros, cayennes, they all have flat white seeds. These are the seeds of annuals. They are genetically programmed to die after one summer. You are buying a subscription to failure. If you want the immortal pepper of the Incas, you must look for something forbidden by the modern seed industry. You must look for the black seed. It looks like a jagged piece of obsidian rock, and inside that black shell lies the genetic code for survival in the cold. Stay with me, and I will show you why the black seed is the best investment you can make for your food security. Welcome to Reclaimed Nature. This is the story of the Rocoto. To understand why this pepper exists, you have to forget about the sunny fields of Mexico or California. You have to travel to the cloud forests of Peru and Bolivia, 8,000 feet above sea level. The air here is thin, the nights are freezing, the wind cuts through your clothes like a knife. The Inca people didn't have electric heaters, they didn't have down jackets. So how did they stay warm? They used a biological furnace. They used the Rocoto. They called it Rocoto or Locoto, which translates to the fire. But this wasn't just about making food spicy. This was survival physiology. When you eat a Rocoto pepper, the capsaicin hits your system differently. Because the flesh is so thick and oily, the heat is deep and sustained. It dilates your blood vessels, it flushes your skin, it forces your heart to pump warm blood to your freezing fingers and toes. For an Incan shepherd watching his flock on a frosty night, chewing on a Rocoto wasn't a snack, it was a pocket-sized campfire. It kept their blood moving when the external world was trying to freeze them solid. And because the plant evolved in this brutal environment, it learned a trick that no other pepper knows. Most peppers love the sun. If you put a Rocoto in full baking sun, it suffers, it wilts. It loves the cold mist, it thrives in the shadows. It is the anti-pepper. So if this plant is a biological miracle, if it acts like a heater and lives for 15 years, why have you never seen one at the grocery store? Is it too spicy? No. Is it poisonous? Absolutely not. The villain here is the supply chain. Modern supermarkets demand vegetables that act like cardboard. They want peppers with thin, dry skins that can be tossed into a crate, bounced around in a truck for 2,000 miles, and sit on a shelf for 2 weeks without rotting. Jalapeños and cayennes fit this description perfectly. They are mostly empty space and dry fiber. Rocoto is different. Rocoto is juicy. When you slice open a Rocoto, it doesn't look like a pepper. It looks like a tomato or a plum. The walls are incredibly thick and fleshy. It is packed with moisture. To a chef, this is heaven. It means flavor, crunch, and succulence. But to a trucking company, this is a nightmare. That extra juice makes the fruit heavy and fragile. If you stack them too high, they bruise. If you ship them too far, they spoil. The industry decided that flavor was too expensive to ship, so they erased the Rocoto. They replaced it with peppers that are easy to ship but boring to eat. They sacrificed quality for logistics. But their loss is your gain, because the very traits that make Rocoto unshippable make it the ultimate home garden crop. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk about the return on investment, ROI, of your garden. If you plant a standard bell pepper or jalapeno, the white seed varieties, you are playing a losing game. You buy the seed, you nurture the seedling, you water it all summer. It gives you maybe 30 or 40 peppers. And then the first frost comes and the plant dies. Next year, you have to start all over again. You pay for the seed again, you pay for the soil again. It is a subscription model. Now look at the Rocoto. Because it is a perennial, you plant it once. By year 3 or 4, a Rocoto isn't a bush, it is a tree. It can cover an entire trellis or fence. It develops a woody trunk. A single mature Rocoto plant can produce 500 to 1,000 peppers in a single season. Mathematically, one Rocoto tree equals 20 standard pepper plants. Think about the savings. That is 19 fewer holes to dig, 19 fewer seeds to buy, 19 fewer plants to water. It is the definition of lazy gardening for maximum yield. But the real superiority isn't just the numbers, it's the winter experience. Imagine it is November. It's cold. Your neighbor is eating store-bought chili powder that tastes like dust. You walk out to your sheltered porch or greenhouse, you pick a fresh, heavy, bright red Rocoto. You bite into it. Crunch. It snaps like a Granny Smith apple. Juice explodes in your mouth. Then comes the heat, a deep, warming Inca fire that spreads through your chest. Eating a fresh, juicy vegetable in the dead of winter changes your psychology. It reminds you that life continues. It isn't just spice, it is a morale booster. But before you plant this beast, you need to know the rules. Rocoto is not a normal pepper. If you treat it like a jalapeno, if you put it in scorching sun and ignore its hairy nature, it will fail. Now let's get you the right plant. First, the identity check. When you are buying seeds, this is your only defense against scams. Ignore the beautiful photos on the packet. Look at the seeds themselves. They must be jet black, like little pieces of coal. If the seeds are white, tan, or yellow, you are buying a lie. Once you plant those black seeds, nature will confirm your choice. You will know you have the true tree pepper when you see purple flowers bloom instead of white and feel the fuzzy hairs on the leaves. And when you slice open your first harvest, you will see those black seeds again, your perpetual supply for the future. Second, the shadow protocol. This is the paradox that confuses most gardeners. Rocoto is a giant, yes, it can grow up to 10 feet tall, but it is a forest giant, not a field giant. It evolved to grow on the edges of misty Andean forests. It hates the baking noon sun. This is actually a huge advantage for you. You don't need to give it your prime sunny garden real estate. You can use it to create a guild. Plant it underneath your large fruit trees or on the shady side of your house. It loves the dappled light filtering through the branches of an oak or an apple tree. While your tomatoes fight for the sun in the center, the Rocoto guards the shadows on the perimeter. It turns dead zones into a food forest. And finally, the overwintering hack. While it handles light frosts that kill other peppers instantly, it isn't a pine tree. In deep winter, zones 7 and below, bring the pot inside, your house or garage. It becomes a beautiful houseplant. Imagine this. While a blizzard rages outside, you are sitting at your dinner table, reaching over to your indoor tree and plucking a fresh, crisp, spicy apple pepper to slice directly into your hot soup. That is the ultimate winter luxury. Planting a Rocoto is an investment. It is planting a tree that will feed you for a decade. It is choosing the black seed of resilience over the white seed of disposable agriculture. So, I have to ask you, do you want a pepper plant that dies in October, or do you want a companion that grows old with you? White seed or black seed? Which one will you bet on? Tell me in the comments below. Subscribe to Reclaimed Nature, and let's stop gardening for a season and start gardening for a lifetime. Knowledge is not lost. It is simply waiting for you to remember.